Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Siva Sabrina Amalia. I'm from V546 class, and then in here I want to explain about pronouns and then adjective clause. First, I want to explain about pronouns. Pronouns. There are 5 forms of pronoun in English: subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, and relative pronouns. Possessive adjective will also be included in this chapter, although they are not pronouns. Strategy. It is important to know the 5 forms of pronouns and the possessive adjective that are often confused with them. Errors may include the use of one type or form of pronoun in place of another. Number 1. Subject pronouns. That is I, you, he or she or it, we, you, and they. The subject pronoun is used A. When it is the subject of a verb. Example, they live south of the equator. B. When the subjects of the two clauses are compared. Example, they are more protected against the cold than we are. C. After the verb to be. Example, it is he with the egg. D. After as and then. Example, she is not as tired as he is. Number 2. Object pronouns. That is me, you, him, or her, or it, us, you, and them. The object pronoun is used A. When it is the direct object of a verb. Example, she gave him the egg. B. After prepositions. Example, when she returns, she takes over the egg from him. But when the preposition introduces a new clause, the subject pronoun must be used because the pronoun is now the subject of the new clause. For example, he'll leave after she returns. C. When the objects of two clauses are compared. Example, it is easier for them than us. Number 3. Possessive adjective. That is my, your, his or her or its, our, your, and their. The possessive adjective is used A. To modify a noun and show ownership. Example, they laid their eggs about 50 miles from the coast. B. To refer to parts of the body. Example, the male penguin rolls the egg on top of his feet. C. To modify a gerund. Example, we are surprised by their nesting in such harsh conditions. Number 4. That is mine, yours, his or hers or its, ours, yours, and theirs. The possessive pronoun is used A. To replace a possessive adjective and a noun. Example, she takes her turn and he takes his. Number 2. Or B. After the verb to be. Example, the egg is hers. C. After the preposition of when it means one of many. Example, it is a habit of theirs. D. To replace the second possessive adjective and noun when they are being compared. For example, their life seems more difficult than ours. Number 5. Reflexive pronouns. That is myself, yourself, himself or herself or itself, ourselves, yourselves, and then themselves. The reflexive pronoun is used A. To emphasize the subject noun or pronoun it refers to and to emphasize the fact that the subject did the action alone. Example, he takes care of the egg himself. Or he himself takes care of the egg. B. As the object of a verb when the subject and objects are the same. Example, they stand together to protect themselves from the cold. C. As the object of the preposition by when the subject did the action alone. Example, the penguin chick is unable to get food itself. 6. Relative pronouns. The relative pronouns in English are who, whom, whose, which, and that. Strategy. It is important to make sure that the relative pronoun agrees with that subject. Who refers to people and household animals. Whom refers to people and household animals. It is used in the object position in formal written English or with who plus a preposition in spoken English. C. Whose refers to people, animals, and things. It shows possession. And then which refers to things, collective nouns, and animals. And last, that refers to people, animals, and things. Then I want to explain about adjective clause. Number 1. Incomplete adjective clause. As mentioned in the previous lesson, there are 3 types of depend clauses, all of which are tested in structure. Adjective clauses, also called relative clauses, are the most commonly tested of the 3. You will see 1 or 2 items involving adjective clauses on most tests. Adjective clauses are a way of joining to sentence. In the join sentence, the adjective clause modifies or describes a noun called the head noun in another clause of the sentence. It begins with an adjective clause's marker. I want the book. The book had already been checked out. The book which I want had already been checked out. The adjective clause in this example begins with the marker which and modifies the head noun book. Adjective clause markers are relative pronouns such as who, that, or which, or the relative adverbs when or where. Number 2, adjective clause marker like who, subject, or people. Example, a neurologist, a doctor who specializes in the nervous system. Number 2, whom, object or people. This is the patient whom the doctor treated. 3, whose possessive or people. Mr. Collins is the man whose house I rent. Number 4, which subject or object or things. Example, that is a topic which interests me or which a subject. Example, that is the topic on which I will write, which as object of preposition. And then that subject or object or people thing. Example, art that is in public reach can be enjoyed by everyone. That as subject. Example, the painting that Miss Village bought was very expensive. That as object. And then where adverb or pledge. Example, here is the site where the bank plans to build its new headquarters. And last, when adverb or time. This is the hour when the children usually go to bed. Okay, thank you. I think it is enough for now. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.